My name is Evelyn Hu-DeHart. I'm a professor of history and American studies. My book is entitled Yaqui Resistance and Survival. Now, the Yaquis is an indigenous people on the US-Mexican border, and they have survived and resisted total control by outside groups and governments for 500 years. And that was what inspired me to write this long history. First of all, it's just, I think, a beautiful story of a people who protect their own identity, their resources, which is basically land and water, so they could produce what they need to survive. But it also is a story of resilience and adaptation and incredible ability to face challenges and take on anyone. So I find it's a great story of struggle, of survival, and of social justice. The largest story of indigenous peoples in the Americas is the one of social justice. When conquerors or settlers come to the Americas, they tend to, sooner or later, encroach upon the peoples who were already there, meaning that they take away their land, they take away their water, they take away their bison and other animals. They, in other words, force changes on the peoples already here. And that's a question of social justice, no? Do the peoples already here have a right to be who they are? The interesting thing is, when you deal with peoples whom history has largely ignored or marginalized, there's not a lot of existing scholarship to build on, which also means that my book is the existing scholarship, at least in English. And that's why the University of Wisconsin Press, 40 years after its first publication, put out a second edition, because it's still the foundational work on the Yaqui people. And what has been very gratifying is that the Mexican president, the current president of Mexico, issued a formal apology to the Yaqui people for all the hundreds of years of abuse and destruction and injustice. And then the Mexican Academy of History voted me as an international member in recognition of this work. So this is all very gratifying. I hope people will just enjoy it as just great history, because for me, good history, great history, what makes history accessible and available to everyone is that it is a story.